Hi there, it's Andrew Roberts here. Welcome to this week's blog, and we're going to be talking about choosing to be happy. I know there's so much information out there about happiness, and there's the story of the little cat and the old cat. And the little cat's chasing its tail, and the old cat says to the little cat, "What are you doing?" And the little cat says, "When I eventually catch my tail, I know I will be happy, so I'm trying to chase it and I just can't seem to get it." And the old cat, in its old wise words, said to the little cat, "You know, when you forget about your tail and just get on with things, you'll find that happiness comes to you." Happy? We're taught that happiness is a choice. And you know, I completely agree with this. Yet I don't believe many people are shown or taught or experiencing how they can actually choose to be happy. So we're going to look at three things today. But I want to firstly point out, every single decision we make, we either move towards happiness or away from unhappiness. Every single thing we do. You know, even if you sabotage and you're eating food when you know you shouldn't be if you're overweight, you're actually doing it to make yourself feel happy. Did you know that even anger is at the time a release of emotion or energy designed to make the person in the anger feel happier? Working really hard, we're doing it to find happiness in the future. Everything we do is towards happiness or away from unhappiness. And I've been a business coach for over 10 years, and I find it really fascinating how many business owners that I meet that are sacrificing happiness in the now for something in the future. And the crazy thing is they can experience that emotion, that happiness right now, yet they'll put themselves through the grinder completely out of balance. So their health's out of balance or their relationships are out of balance in order to experience this happiness in the future. It's mad. And when you really summarize and simplify happiness, I mean, we can get happiness by going down to a park with our kids and playing. We can experience happiness by going for a walk along the beach with our partner or playing tennis with some friends. You know, I was over in Papua New Guinea not that long ago doing a walk on the Kokoda Trail. And I remember sitting in these little community centres and I was looking around at the way they live their lives. Now, they don't have electricity, they have to find their own food, yet they laugh and smile so much more than what I experience and see people in the Western world. They've got a real community. They all support and help each other. They're not out chasing goals and ambitions. They're there for survival. They're there to grow and learn, but they're not about sacrificing the now for something in the future. And personally, I think people in the Western world, we're mad that we don't fully embrace and experience more happiness in our lives. So we're going to just look at three simple things to improve or choose to be more happy. Now, I know there's many, many more, and I'd really appreciate further comments below from what you've learned about being happy. But let's look at these three things. We're going to look at this law of control. Number two, we're going to look at reducing expectations, letting go. And number three, we're going to look at taking an ultra high level of responsibility for yourself. Not just being responsible, an ultra high level. Let's look at the law of control. Now, the law of control states, I feel happy in relation to how much control I have in all areas of my life. I feel unhappy to the degree of lack of control I have in all areas of my life. Firstly, we've got our health. Then we've got our relationship or romance, family, we've got finance, we've got career, we've got spiritual, and we've also got health. And we can also even add another one in there, which is new challenges. Now, if you actually wrote those down, read the blog below and wrote those down and gave yourself a rating out of 10 for each of them, I can almost assure you, if you're rating yourself 5 or below in any of them, you have a feeling of a loss of control. Now, in my opinion, you can be rated extraordinarily high in the other ones, but if your health is rated below 5, then there's got to be a feeling of a loss of control going on there, which actually can sabotage all the others. So what we need to do is we need to regain control. How do we regain control? We stop, we observe, and we set a new goal or an intention to improve that particular area that's quite low or weak. And you will find when you're in control of each of those areas, you're in balance, you experience that feeling of flow, everything seems to work, and you're constantly juggling because you can constantly be on this roller coaster of being in balance, out of balance, in balance, out of balance. And it's just constantly looking at, well, what am I lacking here? What do I need to work on to bring me more flow, control into my life? So the second area is this concept, which there's a whole new blog on this. Go back and check it out below, but lowering expectations. I'm not going to talk about that today, but I will talk about this concept of letting go and this enormous element of maybe setting a goal and getting clear on where you want to be, but then letting it go, putting it out there and getting on with your life, concentrating on doing things you love, realizing success is not about how much money you make, success is about how much fun you have. So filling your life with things that you love. So putting the health in, doing the stuff with your family, getting out there with your kids, mixing, going traveling, doing the things that bring immense joy. And then this is what I define as flipping your life, because then you'll pull in all the resources, the money you need in order to support and sustain your goal. Now, the third element which helps in choosing to be happy is taking an ultra high level of responsibility. Now, you may have heard someone else say to you, you've got to be more responsible. But taking an ultra high level of responsibility is another level, okay? It's the level where if you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, it's not their fault, it's your fault. If your partner might be out cheating on you or flirting or doing other things, it's not them that's creating it, you're creating it. It's when you're working for a job that you really dislike, your boss is annoying and your team members are painful, it's not them, it's you. And you see, an ultra high level of responsibility is where you stop and acknowledge every single thing in your life is happening because of you. And there's the saying, for things to change, Jim Rohn, for things to change, first I must change. And it's this absolute commitment to working on shifting the way you're thinking, the way you're doing things, and that will actually alter your reality. See, I'm a big believer that if you change you will actually modify the way other people treat you. I'll give you a quick example on this. There's a beggar on the street. Now, if you believe that that beggar's worthless and you believe that that beggar is just a menace to society and you've got these feelings coming out of you and you approach that beggar, he's going to pick up on that feeling. He's going to communicate to you in a very different way to someone that believes that beggar is obviously is a person to be loved, is someone special, someone that's probably got an amazing destiny, an amazing purpose for their life. Or maybe they've just got a completely different attitude towards this beggar to the first person. Can you see just from this example that that beggar is going to treat the second person very differently to the first? And this is where you start to realize, in order for things to change, first I must. So the three things: gain more control, lower expectations, let go. Check out the expectations video, you'll really appreciate it, and take that next level of responsibility. And you know what? Really love to hear from you below. Let's go back to the law of control. Just take the time and do this. Maybe just mention one of those 7 or 8 areas that I went through. Tell me your rating on there, and also write down one thing that you can do to regain more control. See you next time. Now, I haven't taken full responsibility for my flexibility, and I know that. And so I am going to be starting yoga, because this is terrible. And it's not my genes, it's actually my tightness.